another session, and this session is dedicated for Supabase authentication. In Draftbit, many of our users use Supabase authentication actually, which is a very powerful platform backend service. And today, one of our expert engineers, Maruf, is with us. Welcome, Maruf.
Yeah, I bet you. Thank you for inviting me.
So Maruf will share the details and give some tips and tricks for authentication in Supabase for your projects. Just a minute, someone wants to join. Hello, Duff. Welcome. We have just started. And as I said before, during session, please gather your questions and raise your hand if you have any questions. And you can also put your questions in chat as well. We will do our best to answer all of your questions. And if you want us to troubleshoot one of our issues, we can do it. I mean, Marv can do it, I believe. Okay, should we start now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's start.
Okay. Um, yeah, let's start with. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So here I am in the Supabase dashboard, and this is my Draftbit app that I'll be using to show the demo of login and sign up. It's the basic part of a of authentication flow. So this is my newly created project that I created for this demo. So when you create a project, you have to do kind of setting for this Supabase and Draftbit connection. I'm going to show that initially to you, to everyone. So if I go to the API, so there are few informations we need uh, from the Draftbit side to connect with the Supabase from the Draftbit. So one is the project URL and another is the enum key. So those are the two things will go into every request from the Draftbit to Supabase. I have already created the connection service for Supabase REST API. I'm going to show you how I did that. So this is the URL which I copied from here, okay, and passed it here and added that API key in the setting. So as it is a mandatory thing, I added it in the header and authentication. So every every REST call I create from here, it will be automatically inserted like this. So yeah, so that's done. So the next part is to creating three endpoints. So those are the three endpoints that is actually required for the authentication flow. One is the login, and there is the sign up, and secondly one is to know the current authenticated user. Okay, so I have created them. So auth is a get request and the role is me because it is not creating or updating any type of object in the project, so it's just a new type of role. The path is here. I'm going to show you how you can get more idea about the API, like what are the URLs you should be using. So from this left side of your panel, if you go to the setting, the API docs, you will see this documentation that is automatically generated for each Supabase project. So you have two type of API documentation. One is the JavaScript and second one is the REST API. So for our use case, we will be using a REST API. So we will be checking out the bash section from here. So those are the details about the authentication. So this is the authentication related to between your app in your Supabase instance. So it says that you have to uh, provide your API key as as your identity so that you can connect with this project. And any user specific data you have to put BRR token for that specific user with authorization header. Yeah, so that's all explained here. And this doc also explain how we can get that. I already showed you guys to you, those you guys. So next, let's go to the user management. So the user management is like it defines all types of API endpoint that you will be using to uh, to to complete your authentication related stuff. Suppose we have logout, we can also send an invite over email to join this app. So all of them are documented here. So yeah, so I just took the sign up, login, and user endpoint for our use case to demonstrate the demo. Okay, so good so far. So this is the URL I am using. In my configuration, I have added the initial part, and for each endpoint, like for each endpoint I have it, I'm just adding the last part of it, like the auth slash user. Okay, so let's give it a test. Oh, so the auth token is expired, so that's why I got a 401. So we have a good interface how we can test our REST API responses. So yeah, let's get a new auth token. So to get a new auth token, we will be using the login endpoint, and the role should be login as defined. It all explains itself, and the path should be token grant type password. Okay, so if you use this endpoint and pass your email and password that the user already signed up, the user will be able to get a new auth token for himself. So you get a lot of bunch of data that can be useful throughout your app flow, app lifecycle. So we are interested in the authentication token, and yeah. So
Marv, I'm sorry, Alexander has a question.
okay,
Yeah, sorry, I'm quite a beginner. So could you explain a little bit more about this authentication token, like what it is and how it works with expiring and
sure, of course.
yeah.
So authentication actually, if we copy it and if we want to know how what does it contain, so you can see each token contains some data about the user. Okay, so here we can see it actually contains the project URL, the email of the user, and all of the metadata that is stored in the Supabase site for a user. And it has also a expiry date. Okay, so so to say that if someone has this token, like he can talk to the Supabase and
Hmm.
pretend the user, like pretend to be the user that is the information is stored. Like whoever has this token, he can pretend like someone at email.com and fetch
Yeah, yeah.
all the data and do all of sort of stuff pretending him. Okay,
Hmm.
and if like this is the expiry time, that means whatever millisecond after it was created, this token will expire. Once the token expires, it it won't be valid. So you won't be getting any data or any kind of action in the Supabase if your token is expired. Okay.
All right. So when you try to log into Supabase or try to authenticate, Supabase provides you with a token at that
Yes.
point, and that token is then valid for certain like
Yeah.
period. And
Mhm.
as long as you have this token, you can authenticate and do whatever rights that user has in the
Yes.
database.
Yes. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Um,
May I ask
so,
a question, Marv?
sure.
Sorry.
Yes.
So my question would be increasing the lifespan of that token. So for example, I mean, if that's too complicated, just don't dive in too much. But
Okay.
I'm just curious. For example, I'm logging in the project and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to log in again. I mean, I just so is there a way to increase the lifespan of that token so that once I log in, I don't need to log in again to the app?
Okay. Yeah. That's a good question. That's a very common thing to discuss in the soft, like, what should I say, the authentication system. So the standard is that you shouldn't give your token that much long of validity, because if someone have this token, he can pretend to you, and it might be a security reason. Okay. But I understand in the software development, like for user perspective, the user shouldn't be asked for a login again and again, and once they are logging. So yeah, we can handle this. Like, for to answer your question, we have the option to increase the expiry time. Okay. So if you so currently this is 3,600 seconds. So it means 1 hour. You can set it to as much as you want, and the token will remain valid until that period of time. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So yep. And there is another option you can use, that is the refresh token. So you can refresh your token whenever your token is expires. That requires a bit of custom code and bit of work on the builder side. So yeah, that's about
Also,
the
does that mean, for example, we can refresh the token? I mean, we can get the refresh token without showing the user, I mean, on-screen focus, or for example, maybe we can just place a button to enable user to click on it and say, you know, I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, we can refresh token in many ways, right? Just using this
Yes,
refresh token key.
yes. It could be like different kind of, like, how much, how which level of complexity you want to go. But if you have a refresh token, uh, you can you can get a new token without login and
Hmm.
bothering user. That depends totally the use case of the app and
Okay.
how we want to implement that. Okay. I can give you an idea. Like, yeah, as you said, we can. So one idea could be, once you get a new token, you can store the expiry time. Okay. So when the token will expire, so you can have a place where you can check if your expiry time is closer, and depending on that, you can request for a new token before it expires, right? So that is wild discussion, and it differs person to person and application to application.
Yeah, that would be a good implementation, I guess, behind the scenes
Yeah.
implementation. Yeah, thank you, Marv.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Mm, okay. So that was the login endpoint, and you see the sign up endpoint. So we are we are passing this email and password to the sign up endpoint to create a new user. Okay, and if we test it, okay, so it's a 400 because the user is already there. Let's try to create a new one. Actually, no. Three. So yeah, it also returns a similar kind of response when you sign up a user. So it returns the access token and all sort of things that actually a login endpoint returns. So yeah, so this is the sign up endpoint, and yeah, let's go into the screen building and let's see how we can implement this. So can try for login screen. Okay, so I want to create a new variable for this input field. So, so yeah, those are the two new variables I will be using. I'm not going to use the forgot password now. So let's go to the login. So on phrase, I'm going to go to API request. That should be Supabase REST API and login. Email import, password import. I want to store the response. So yeah, so that's the REST API request for login. Next thing I will check in extract key. So input is login res, path to be access token. Okay, so
And
yeah, we have a device variable called Authtoken. We will be storing this new token that we get in the in this global variable.
Alexander has another question, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. Another question. So just when you gave the path when extracting it, that is the JSON path from the response you're getting from the API, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the .access token, and then depending what information you want to get from the token, you can have different paths in there.
Yes. I can give the ID. So I can also extract the user ID. So
Maybe we can show the login response in console so
yeah,
that
sure.
we can see which keys are available in the response.
Sure. Just 1 second. We can log the response. This is one. So this is the login response look like. So we have this access token. Okay, so the ID is in the user object. I have to update my extraction action. So yeah, we can read the expires in everything. It should be user.id. Okay. So after that, we extract the access token. We're gonna store it. So we're gonna use the set variable. We're gonna save it in the auth bearer token result token. So yeah, that's it. Let's go. Let's create a sign up screen.
So another question from my side. Why not using app variable instead of device variable to store authentication
That's
header?
a very good question. Let me give you the answer with example. See, this token is going to be used for every call we make. Like most of the call going to have that auth token, right? So we have to add that in the headers. And if you are going to use anything in the headers, there is no way we can pass from the action step. You have to use it either a hard-coded value or a global variable. Okay. So suppose this auth call is using this token for identification. Okay. So if I'm using it as global variable, and that's why I have access to it. I have no access to any string variable here. So this is the reason we are actually storing the access token in a global variable. I hope this answers the question, right?
Yes, but we have two types of global variables, right? Device variable and app variable. You just prefer to store it in device variable, I guess, not in app
Yes.
variable.
Um, I think well, like there's a concept. That's why like there is no difference when you manipulate the app variables and device variables. But uh, what happens in actual app is that app variables are erased when your app is closed. Okay, like when you close your app, the app variables are erased, but device variables persist until the app is deleted. Okay, so that's why I'm preferring the device variable. So suppose the user logged in and user closes the app and he comes in, he should have the token to use. Okay, so the concept is if you want to store something permanently, you should use the device variable, and if anything is temporarily and it should be available throughout the whole app, you should use that variable. I hope I was able to explain it, right?
Yes, thank you. So
Okay.
what about user ID then?
Yeah, user ID. Thank you. Thank you for reminding that. Create a user ID. So sometimes what happens is that you might want to request some resource that you require the user ID. So if you have it handy on device variable, you can use it anywhere, right? So that's why I'll be using the user ID here.
Also, Alexander has a question, Marv.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry for asking all the questions, but what you just described, the scenario, the user logs in, they close the app, and they open the app again. And if the token is not expired because you stored it as a app or a global variable, then the token should still be available, right? Um,
mm, okay, yeah.
yeah, but then should there still be will the user then automatically be skipped past the login page, or do you have to create some kind of action to check whether this token is still available and then send them to the home screen?
Okay. So, yeah, I think I got your question. Let me answer it. So when you store your token in a device variable, it doesn't means like it is valid. So if you store a token and the token is available after 3 hours, that doesn't mean after 3 hours the token is valid. The token's validity is in the token hash. Okay. So if the token is valid for next 1 hour, you have the token or not, the token will expire, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one part. And second part is that yes, so the easiest part is that you can check the expiry. So like I'm using a global variable for storing the token, you can also have a global variable to store the expiry date, expiry time. So when you log in, you can check your expiry timestamp, right? And if your expiry timestamp is not passed, you can let the user use the app. It's a very simple, I think, it should be a very
Uh,
simple implementation, right?
Key has a
Like,
question, Marv.
Okay.
Actually, it just got. I was trying to find out what would be the best case scenario for verifying token expiry, but he just answered that.
I would like check if the token is there and the expiry time is not passed. So those are the two simple check that make your like, like make your authentication flow very seamless. Okay. Okay. Let's start. So I missed one part. So while we're storing the token, we have to use the add bearer prefix. So I just add it, and I'll be storing the user ID, the global variable. So let's do that. So after the login is done, we want to go into a specific screen. So yeah, let's go to the bank screen from now, and to the blank screen, we can add a fetch call. Let's name it profile. So we will be calling the automate endpoint. Okay. Then I have a div. Inside the div, we are going to some welcome prompt. Okay. So yeah, I'm all set. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a fetch call. So after the fetch call actually fetch a current authenticated user, and from that authenticated user, I will be just printing the email of the user, test it. So let's test again. Someone. mm, Okay, so I am successfully logged in. Nice. So what we may do next, we will have a sign up screen. Okay. I will add this one. Nice. I'm not gonna use this checkbox. Sorry. So similar to login, we are going to call the sign up endpoint. So sign up, mail input, password input, sign up response. So once the user sign up, we would require the user to log in again. So we will take the user to the navigate to the login screen. So yeah, that's simple. Okay. So just one okay. Yes. Okay. So I was logged in. I was signed up, and I am asked to log in again. Let's try. Nice. We are logged in as a new user. So yeah, so that is actually basic implementation of login, sign up, and profile screen. So yeah, any questions so far? Like
Yeah,
uh,
for how do we set up the error message?
okay, yeah,
My
we can.
question.
So yeah, nice. So for that, suppose let's start from the login screen. So if I try to, so you see, we are getting an error description and a error graph. Okay. So we are going to use the error description to show the user error message. Let's do that. So we will have a new screen variable that is to store the error message. Save it. So when the user tries to log in, we are going to extract the error message. Extract key, login res. So it should be error description. Result is error. So now we have extracted the error message. We are going to set it to our variable. So yep, that's done. I'm gonna reorder the actual stack and add an extra step here. So yeah, so that's done. Let's check it. Let's do some formatting to our okay. Okay.
I don't remember if you set a condition for.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I didn't set the value. Let's try now. Okay. There might be I have not extracted the correct.
Also, you should I think you should also define a condition. I mean, we are going to conditional display this text error message, right? If the error
Yeah.
message is existing, we are
Okay.
going to
Okay.
display it.
Yeah. Right. But if the error message is I think I have the order was not correct. I was setting the error message, then was extracting it. So yeah, let's try that. Fix. Okay. The browser did a refresh. I'm gonna do a hard refresh right now. Hmm. So I thought, what should I add a conditional display? Hmm. And I think what we can do, we can add a conditional stop there. If there is error message, let's not execute any other code blocks. Conditional stop. So let's check the action. So I am extracting the error description and saving as error. I am saving the error message as error. And if the error is there, stop there. I can also add a console log of the error message. Okay, let's try. Okay, yeah, this time I got it. Thanks, Ramazan. So now I am showing the error message here, and you see I had navigation call to go to the profile screen, which is not executing before because of this conditional stop. Okay, so we can do the same thing here. Let's see what we get when you try to sign up with the existing user. Okay, so we also think, let's try again. Someone, okay, let's see from the bill here, it should be easier. So this user is already logged in, created account. So if he tries to do that, okay. Oh, the builder, this API service preview doesn't show the error message. Let's read from here. Okay.
So again, we need to place a conditional stop there.
Yeah, I'm also not logging the response of the sign up. That's why. Sorry, just got distracted. Yep, let's try now. So if we do it, user already registered. So this thing we have to little bit keep in mind that different type of error returns different type of message. So for sign up, it is a 400 and it is written a different error message. So we have to check on the console log. And this is the Supabase standard. Okay. So yeah, let's check that. Extract key, sign up response, what should be message, and oh, I have to add a new string variable here. Save it. Okay. Now coming back to the action stack, we are going to set the variable error message to the sign row. Sorry, we are going to do the conditional stop. So if there is anything wrong, we're gonna stop on for the sign up error. And if everything goes well, we are going to the login screen. So let's double check the action stack. So we sign up, we log the response, we extract the error message, set the error message, we conditionally stop there, and then we go to the login screen. Cool. Uh, oh, sorry.
I think it didn't update this screen code.
Yes. I didn't notice that. Thank you. Huh? So it's logging it. So new value is error message. Sign. Okay. Hmm. Let's turn on the log. See. Okay, now it's working. So we did add the text component. Let's add the text component for the error. So we are going to add the text component here. So it should be, oh, wrong place. Okay, your message. Let's try. Okay, yeah, it worked.
Yeah, thank you, Marv. And we
Yeah, thank
have
you.
a question from Jeff.
Mhm. Yes.
He was asking in the chat actually.
Mhm.
Some of the screens in my app will require a user to be logged in. For
Okay.
example, post new article. Do I have to add anything to the post screen to check if the user is logged in already? So for the screens, I think the one way to do it is checking using Auth endpoint, right? On screen focus. Marv, what do you think?
Um, I would suggest let's create a global function that checks the access token and the expiry, and we can call that on focus where the token check is required. Okay, so that's one thing. And the next level should be whenever we are making call and we get 401, that means the token is expired and we can take required action on that 401 data. So I think we take those two steps, that should secure the screen.
Can we set up something like in the login screen,
Hmm.
like demo this one, not using a custom function, but using the Auth endpoint, and if
Hmm.
the user is logged in, just directly navigates the user to home screen, let's say. Can we
Sure.
show the steps?
Yep. Um, I will check the token validity and the token availability instead of making the auth main point. So the idea is that if you are continuously making call to the backend, so that's not a good practice, right? So like for each screen, you are making a call to make sure your token is uh, valid or not. My understanding is that if you store the token properly and this validity, and if you check its validity, I think that's good. You don't have to make a call every time to check your token validity, right? So that's why I'm gonna illustrate with the function here. So before we do that, one thing we need to do, we are going to have another called auth token expires at, and so when a user logs in, we are already storing the auth token. So we are also like that. We are going to store the expire set. Extract key. I'm just going to check what the spelling is. I'm not gonna. So this is the expire set. Input is login address. response. Path should be dot expire set result with expiry and set variable of token expired expiry. Okay. So yeah, and we are going to do it before we navigate. Yeah, all good. Now this is our global function. So is already logged in. Parameter should be so. So it shouldn't have any parameter. We are going to use the global read the global variable. So sorry. So it's very simple. So we're gonna check if the auth bearer token is there and expire set. So both of them are there. And the last condition is that so new date. So it should take the current time step and it is less than new. All right. So it is very simple. It is first checking if the token is there. Then it checks if the expiry time is set. And if the expiry time is set, we are going to check if we haven't passed the expiry time. Yeah, that's it. So in the login screen, we're going to call this run a custom function and it is already logged in. Is logged in. And then we are going to navigate. Suppose we are going to navigate to the profile screen and conditional is that is logged in. Okay, so now I will log in. Okay, and it will take me to the profile, and if I come back again to the login screen, it will automatically take me to the profile screen without doing anything, if that works. Let's try that in the cost. So okay, so the login worked. So I'm logged in, all my variables are set up. Let's see if my function worked or not. So I come back to the profile screen again and go to the login screen. Oh, something went wrong. Let's debug. Let's try to log the let's try to log it first. Okay, it says it is. Uh, just 1 second. I'm gonna do a quick check.
Jeff says maybe we should use conditional stop, but I think you're conditional navigate user, or
Mhm.
are you using conditionally navigate?
Yes, I am using conditional navigate. I think what we have to do is it is coming in millisecond. We have to convert it to microsecond. Just 1 second. Let me confirm that. Yep. Yeah, it worked. So sorry, let me explain it clearly. So when we log in, the response we get, the expire set, it is a microsecond. Sorry if I am confusing. Like it is the biggest unit, bigger unit. We have to convert into the lower unit. Okay. So what we have to do, you have to just multiply it 1000, and then it will be converted into millisecond. And if it is converted to millisecond and we pass it to this date function, date object, it will actually generate the correct timestamp. Okay, so we were not multiplying it 1000 by 1000 earlier, that's why it was not working, and multiplying it, it is working. So yeah, so I'm just, whatever I do, if I go here and go to the login, yeah, I'm automatically taken to the login screen, profile screen.
Yeah, that works by this way.
Yeah.
And Jeff also asks, is there an easy way to add Face ID or other biometrics to Draftbit app?
It will require a good amount of custom code, I believe. Yeah. Because,
So the answer is yes, but you should
yeah.
use custom code.
Yeah. Mm. We can help you, or expert team to help you if you want.
Yeah, we have one-time expert services. We're offering one-time expert services. You can see details, I guess, on your dashboard if you like. Oh, is that all, Maruf? Are we done?
Yeah, I think I have covered all the basic stuff, but so authentication is not a very simple thing. It is a security issue. So it's a rabbit hole. So you can go any deeper layer you want. So, but you can start like this and go step by step. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maruf. And do we have any other questions from attendees? If not, we can wrap up this session, I guess. I think there isn't any questions. So thank you very much, Maruf, for joining and explaining authentication details using Supabase. We have other sessions regarding authentication using Airtable. Now in Airtable, I guess we're using personal access token, not API keys anymore. So you might be interested in. And also, we have upcoming sessions regarding iOS publishing with Rahul, and also OpenAI API integration as well, and many other things. And we have good things ahead. Some new features are upcoming, right, Marv and Draftbit?
Yes. Yeah. And some of them might be related to authentication. Who knows?
Yeah. Yes, for authentication, we are expecting some new features in near future, actually. Okay. if you don't have any questions, I think that's it. Thank you again for joining, and please feel free to reach out for any of your specific issues. And for during these office hours, you can leverage these office hours for troubleshooting your apps and your issues with our experts live here. So beforehand, you can share your issues with me from intercom or from community by direct messaging. And thank you again for attending. See you in next office hours. Thank you, Marv, again. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you everyone. Yes.
See ya. Bye.